As extreme weather batters the planet, the UN Secretary-General tells the BBC that the world is approaching a point of no return. There's been another sobering warning on the state of the climate from the UN Secretary-General. Antonio Guterres says the world is reaching the point of no return and every country must make tackling climate change a priority. Speaking ahead of next month's COP27 conference, Mr. Guterres said the world would face catastrophe unless action is taken. Our climate editor, Justin Rolat, spoke to him at the UN headquarters in New York.
It has been a year of extreme weather. Devastating floods in Pakistan, drought in Somalia with millions threatened with famine. And record-breaking heat in the UK and many other countries. It's why the UN chief says climate is the most important issue in his in-tray.
Do you think the governments of the world recognise that?
Not necessarily all of them at the present moment. It's very unfortunate that in many governments the pressure of the difficulties of the moment, and I recognize those difficulties. You have inflation, you have the consequences of the war, you have high prices of energy and foods, you have then social unrest linked to that. So there has been indeed a tendency to put climate change in the back burner, and that is why it is so important to strongly advocate to bring back climate change to the center of the international debate.
There have been fears some countries, including the UK, have been rolling back on some of their climate commitments. Liz Truss advised King Charles not to go to the UN Climate Summit in Egypt, for example.
Should the King go to COP27? Do you want to see him there? And what about the new UK Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak? Do you want to see him there in Egypt?
I would like to see them both. I mean, King Charles, we need to pay tribute to that, has been a constant voice raising the attention of the world for the need to be much more effective in relation to climate action.
Are you worried about the UK's commitment on climate?
I believe the UK people has today enough conscience about what climate change means.
Mr. Guterres, I didn't ask about the people, I asked about the government.
What I'm saying is that the governments are accountable to the people. And I believe the people will make the government accountable in a way that the commitments that were made will be maintained.
I'm sensing that you are slightly worried about the UK government's commitment on climate. If they need to be held to account by the people, it suggests that they're not perhaps
There
doing
were
as much
some hints, but I hope that those hints do not correspond to the reality.
Some hints of a sort of loosening of the
Because
commitment.
things are changing also very quickly in the British political life, so let's be optimistic about the future.
But this year, we've had a taste of the kind of extreme weather climate change can bring. And the message from the UN today is clear. Unless we raise ambition in Egypt, the world will face far greater weather extremes. Justin Rolat, BBC News, the UN headquarters in New York.